Hello everyone. Good news for all silver stackers. Silver was moving higher lately, and I have some reasons to believe, this time, silver rally might have legs. Let's talk. It has been a while since we talked about silver prices on this channel. There was a lot going on in the world lately, and silver was just trading in a range below $20, not doing much. Last time I made a video about prices of silver, silver had a nice rally off the lows. But, as I was predicting, that rally didn't last. It was nice to see all that stored energy, lifting silver by almost $2 in a day. But last time, the rally was heading into a difficult economic situation for metals, and that rally was short-lived. Fed was still hiking rates, dollar was going up, we were looking at negative GDP and many other factors. Let me know in the comments if you had luck to stack up on cheap silver during the end of the summer drop. I usually buy on a schedule regardless of prices and curious to hear your opinion. Now I think the situation is changing, and it is very likely to see silver go materially higher. I am not a financial advisor and this is not a personalized investment advice. With that out of the way, I will share a few reasons I think silver is poised to run higher. First reason is obvious, the Fed. We are heading into the end of aggressive rate hiking cycle. There will be a few more rate hikes, but the market is pricing slowing of the pace. This is a major tailwind for all precious metals. Given the inflation in the past few years and silver price suppression by the strong US dollar, if Fed raises rates by 25 points in December, watch out for silver and gold. Rising yields were a major uncertainty for metals. Yield curve in US bond market is inverting, predicting rate reduction in 2023. As we all know, gold and silver react preemptively, so it might help gold and silver prices in the near term. In addition, some pundits in mainstream media are pushing a narrative that we will have a soft landing. That creates a perception that industrial demand will stay robust and might even increase. While I really doubt this point, given mass layoffs we see in the news, this might help silver a bit too, since industrial demand for silver is a substantial portion of overall silver demand. Another reason is seasonality. Summer traditionally is the worst time for the metals, and we definitely seen some lows. I would not put too much faith into the seasonal patterns, but historically, precious metals do better towards the end of the year and it can be an additional factor to add some wind into the silver sail. Now to the big factor that was not present during the last rally. Weakening dollar. Since gold and silver traditionally priced in US dollar, strength in US currency depresses metals. Since the beginning of the year, dollar went up by roughly 20% against other currencies but probably topped out around the beginning of November. Gold and silver were doing fairly well in other currencies, but here, stateside, and in international markets like LBMA, dollar was an 800-pound gorilla that was wrecking everything. Recently we have seen a substantial pullback in greenback, so it should help to lift depressed metals. Another important factor is international demand for silver. India was importing silver in record quantities and it definitely put a dent on supply of silver on COMEX and LBMA. India's demand is a very interesting factor. Aside from the size of India's population, there is very important dynamic here. Specifically, a realization by masses that inflation is here to stay. This fact is lost on many analysts, but it is very important. Here in US or EU, gold is somewhat attainable, given the average income. You might not be able to buy an ounce of gold every month, but a fractional gold coin is not out of reach for many. In countries like India, gold, despite being a traditional store of value, becoming more and more unobtainable. What is the next best thing to deal with inflation? Silver. Once you have a billion of motivated buyers, you can count of a healthy demand. Given the above, the amount of available for delivery silver was steadily declining throughout 2022. Yes, it was partly due to supply chains, sanctions on Russia that removed a substantial source from the market, and other factors. If you remember, during last silver squeeze, LBMA and COMEX reached out to Russia and they did help to bring extra supply. For some reasons I do not think this is happening this time around. That leads me to the last report by the Silver Institute, which is a main piece of the puzzle. I will not be reciting the whole article, but in a nutshell, deficit of silver supply for the year 2022 is projected to be around 200 million ounces, on the back of the last year's deficit of almost 50 million ounces. I was tracking this number for a while, and I can say that projection was only revised upwards. One more important factor to mention. Silver ETFs. As price of silver was coming down, ETFs were dumping silver back into the market. What happens when silver price starts to rally? Investors will pile back into the ETFs and instead of being sellers, they might become buyers. But most importantly, if demand remains strong, while the world's economy is going through some structural changes, we can only expect a further deterioration of silver availability. Many of us, Silver stackers experienced this shortage way before Reuters caught up to the reality. If you tried to add to your silver stack while silver was bottoming, most likely you have been disappointed by insane premiums on all silver products, from junk silver and generic rounds to some collectible items and silver eagles. This was a true indication or real price of silver, no matter what you see on COMEX. Given all of the above, I think it is reasonable to expect at least a modest gain in silver price. Favorable Fed stance, lower dollar, higher demand and seasonal trend, and, most importantly, looming shortages should push silver higher. Now, I do not expect a triple-digit silver price anytime soon. We have to keep in mind that a substantial economic slowdown in 2023 is very likely. If we are headed for a major recession, all assets will be dumped at a discount, initially. But I am not taking chances and waiting for a pullback. I have been buying silver in high 20s and have been buying in low teens. It's all about buying on schedule for me, without trying to time the future price of silver. Let's keep that silver stack growing. Let me know where you think the silver price is headed. Should we stack? Or just wait for another dip? Please subscribe and share. Thank you for watching. Until next time.